Man, I'm so happy y'all be enjoying my stories. I'm having a good time reliving them, telling them. And if you're just getting here, I am the woman that revealed to the world that I am the vocalist on Tupac's song off the Makaveli album, his last recording album, Me and My Girlfriend. Yup, that's me. I'm also a former employee of Death Row Records. Yup, that's me. Was also in the 90s a choreographer and a dancer, right? So if you see some of my other stories, you saw that I had got grounded by Tupac and sent to my room. For messing up a show and twerking the Dear Mama. Yup, that was me. That's not the only thing that happened on that tour. Fast forward through the story. The last show we did was in New Orleans, and we flew back home out of New Orleans, but we had a layover. Okay, and the layover was in Texas. It wasn't just a layover; it was a plane change with a layover too. So can you imagine all of us? It was like the Dog Pound, the group Caution, the Outlaws, Tupac, Suge. Can you imagine all of us getting off a plane for a layover, changing over to another plane? You know, it brought a lot of attention. So seeing Tupac walking around, even in the 90s, even though he's bigger now than he was then, was shocking to a lot of people. So once we got on the plane, him and Suge had flights, first class flights, and the rest of us was sitting back in coach. As people were boarding on the plane, Pac decided to leave front first class and come back with us. So when he came back to the back, he was on his campaign, like kissing babies, signing autographs, taking pictures. Because it was wintertime, he had a fur coat with him. So, the planes when they don't take off, when they're just boarding, it's hot as hell because they're not really pumping the air like that. So he had this chinchilla coat. Actually, him and Suge and Snoop, if I'm not wrong, if I remember correctly, they all had matching chinchilla coats. Okay, and Pac was getting hot. So he takes off his coat and he gives it to Napoleon from the Outlaws. Napoleon takes the coat and puts it in an overhead compartment because it's a big ass coat and it's hot on the plane. Pac don't want it. Shit, Napoleon didn't want it either. So he puts it in the overhead compartment, right? So when we got to the airport, I remember, I think it was Fatal. He had a bottle of Remy. And this is pre 9/11, right? So pre 9/11, you used to be able to get past security with big bottles of anything as long as the bottle wasn't open, right? It didn't have to be like, I think it's like 8 ounces now. You can't have something more than 8 ounces. What we didn't know was even though you could get past security with it, you're not supposed to open it when you're on the plane. But we ignorant. We're kids, really. Like, I think most of us was like late teens, 18, 19. Some of us were in our early 20s or something like that. I think Fatal and Gaddafi was in their early 20s. And Isis, who was another dancer with us, she was in her early 20s and stuff like that. So before the plane takes off, we start drinking from the bottle, y'all. Yep. Ratchets. Ratchets. That wasn't even a word back then, but we was ratchet as hell. What we consider thugging, right? So we open the bottle and we start passing it around. And Corrupt from the Dog Pound drinks from it. I take a swig from it. The Outlaws are drinking from it. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds disgusting as hell that we was all drinking out of the same bottle, lips just touching and passing, just ridiculous. But we was a family, so we didn't think nothing of it. You know what I mean? If I had the chance to do it again, I'll probably do it again, except for this part. We all get back in our seats because it's time to take off. And as we're taking off, one of the flight attendants noticed that we're passing an open bottle. So she comes to take the bottle from us. And instead of giving her the bottle, the Outlaws, now I'm not a part of this, but I consider myself a part of why we got kicked off of the plane because I too had a sip from that bottle, okay? The Outlaws decide that they're going to play hide the bottle from the stewardess. Now, we're on the daggone runway. We're literally preparing to take off. And they're passing the bottle in between the seat, over the seat. Da 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 da. And the stewardess, the flight attendant, she trying to keep up with the bottle, but she's getting distracted too. Cause some of us are trying to convince her, like, we'll put the top on it. And she's like, no, you can't have an open container. Like, I guess they try to control how much somebody is drinking so that you don't get out of control while you on the plane, right? That's why they only serve you a certain amount of them small bottles too. So they don't want you slapped on that plane and trying to open doors and just being ridiculously drunk, right? So now I'm getting upset after she explains to me on why she needs that bottle from us. So I start yelling at the Outlaws, give her the bottle. Just let her have the bottle. Now, Gaddafi is yelling with me because she's like, I'm going to have them turn the plane around. We're going to take this plane. She stopped talking to us because nobody can come up with the bottle. Later, I find out that one of the outlaws or somebody from Caution takes the bottle and puts it on the floor. But because we're headed down the runway, literally getting ready to, we're speeding. I'm out my seat. They yelling at me to get back in my seat. The stewardess goes to the captain, and the captain turns the plane around. The bottle, somebody puts it on the floor, and because we're going, the bottle rolls, or somebody has it. I don't even know. I don't even know. But we couldn't find the bottle to be able to give it to her. So she had the captain turn the plane around to take us back to the gate. When we get back to the gate, it's like 10 marshals waiting for us. They board the plane. Now, we ignorant as hell. We honestly really not even thinking, oh, they turned the plane around for us. This how young we are. We're just like, oh, well, something happened. I guess we had to go back, right? The marshals get on the plane and escort not just us in the back. Mind you, I told you, Suge and Pac had first class seats, so they ain't have nothing to do with it. They come to the back and take all of us that's on the All Eyes on Me tour off the plane. Now, I'm at the very back of the plane, so I'm like one of the last people to get off. Just as I'm getting to the front exit of the plane, I turn around, I don't say nothing to the marshal, and he's on another aisle. I turn around and I run back. Boop, 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 boop. I'm booking it back to my seat, right? Because Muta, Napoleon from the Outlaws, remember I told y'all he took Tupac's fur coat. They're off the plane. Now I'm arguing with the flight attendant and the marshal. He taking off his handcuffs. This man literally wants to arrest me because I'm running back on the plane. He thinks that I'm trying not to exit the plane as they told me, I had to, get off the plane. So I'm telling the flight attendant I left something on the plane. Like it's right there over my seat. Like, and she opens the overhead compartment. Yep, Pac's coat. Napoleon left it on the plane. So the marshal puts his handcuffs off. The flight attendant hands me the jacket. And he walks me off the plane, and I'm like, "Thank you for letting me do that." He like, "I was about to arrest you. I was about to take you there." This is what the marshal is telling me, and I'm holding the fur coat, looking at him like I couldn't leave this coat. Like this was gonna be a problem. And he was like, "Getting kicked off the plane ain't the problem." And I'm like, "No, leaving this coat is the problem." Okay. And as I'm catching up to Suge and the Outlaws and everybody else, Pac going off. See what y'all did? And what's gonna happen is the press ain't even gonna say it was the Outlaws. They gonna say it's me. And I don't know if y'all know this, but if y'all hold a plane up in one city, you literally hold up planes all around the world. So disturbing air flight in one place, it's a domino effect. So it's affected all types of other cities, all type of flight patterns and stuff like that. Pac mad. He walking, "Duh, I can't believe y'all. Now, what's gonna happen is these Texas media, wouldn't call media, these papers and stuff like that, the newspaper, they gonna make it that it was me that got kicked off the plane, and they ain't gonna say nothing about y'all." And just as I'm approaching them, I'm still a ways away, but I'm kind of like running, like I got the coat in my hand, and I'm running to catch up with the gang. Napoleon turns around and it must have clicked in his head. He didn't see me. He starts running towards me. I think it clicked that he had left Pac's chinchilla coat in the overhead compartment. Now I'm running towards him, he running to me, and I got the coat, and he like, "Oh, Queen, thanks, Queenie." They used to call me Queen back then. They still call me Queen or Queenie. And I'll tell y'all another story. Easy E actually gave him that name and his assistant, Keisha Anderson. But he like, "Oh my God, Queen, thank you so much." He's literally almost in tears. And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I almost got arrested." Like they thought that I wasn't trying to leave the plane. And he like, "Thank you so much." Now me and Moo, we jogging. Napoleon got Pac's coat. We trying to catch up. Just as we catch up to him, I think it dawned on Pac, where is my daggone coat? And he turns around and he like, "Moo." His name was Napoleon, but his real name is Muta. Pac called him Moo. We all called him Moo. He like, "Moo, give my mama coat." Save Moo's ass just like that. And that's how we got kicked off a plane, all over a bottle of rim. We disturbed flight patterns and everything.